is going on, everyone? Welcome to Birds of the Roundtable. Today is a pre-combine 7-round Eagles mock draft. Guys, if you're watching us live, please be sure to comment and bash all of our draft selections. Joining us, Ryan Reese at Philly Sports PSA. What's up, Ryan?
Not much, man. You know I love a good mock, so that's the only reason why I showed up tonight.
Absolutely. When in doubt, we really had no idea what we were doing before.
When in doubt, mock it out.
Mock it out. I love it. Put that on a t-shirt. Also joining us at PHL Eagle News on X. He is David. What's going on, man?
Nothing, man. I finally got a peek behind Ryan's curtain. That's why he was late. I saw him pop out from his shower. That is, in fact, a shower back there. He came out with the towel on. And
I got my towel right here.
The scrubby W.
He had a loofah.
Oh, absolutely. Gotta get those hard to reach places.
As you guys know, it is Combine Week. We're gearing up. The meat and potatoes of that doesn't really start for a few days. But we're going to do an Eagles mock and just see how this goes. What we're going to do, though, we're going to make this a game. It's a dueling mock where we're going to make our selections and put our results on X, on YouTube, and you're going to vote for the winner. It's only 3 of us, so there'll be like a play-in, and then there'll be one final round to see who has the best Eagles mock draft. We're going to do a wheel spinner to see who gets the first selection, the second, and the third. Let's roll. Let's see how this plays out. Because there's no repeat picks.
Let's go.
Ryan, you will get the first selection here. Let's see who gets second. And that goes for all rounds. Nobody can have repeated picks. I get the second pick.
Oh.
And that means David. Sorry, man. You get the third pick.
It's what I get for not being able to present tonight. I'm being punished by
Am I good?
You're good.
I found this on the web for all round.
My Siri is going crazy.
Anthony's right. I do. I've been looking. This one obviously is kind of a BS one, but I'm looking for like the super nice one, and I would get 2 of them, like the real shiny ones that I'll be having to polish every once in a while. Those are the ones I want.
Yeah. All right. So sorry, my Siri was going wild.
Yeah.
Make sure you go follow Anthony DeBona on X. Amazing Eagles follow. Just like David, does amazing writing with Philly Sports Network. Philly Sports Go Boom says reports are Abdul has been pulled over for a drag race.
Love it.
Keep them coming. Keep them coming. Speak it into existence. The more we get, maybe Abdul Carter starts slipping. All right, let's roll on. This is how we're going to do this thing. Ryan, you can throw your screen on. I did it for you there.
Right,
we're going to make this a little random. We're going to go down the middle, but using PFF's mock draft simulator, we're going to do a little random. That way, all 3 of our drafts can be a little different. So, Ryan, start us off, man.
Well, since we are doing no trades, I'm obviously going to turn on the super turbo jets for the picks here. Since it doesn't really matter, I can just go back. So let's start us up. Bing, bang, boom. It's so quick. Let's say anybody that hurts Walter Nolan to Houston. There you go. Your boy Darius Alexander to Minnesota. Princely Umami Ellen.
Wow, 31.
I only like that because I can say it. Boy, there's a lot of good talent here. I mean, Kenneth Grant falling. I think he's a really talented interior guy. Michael Williams, again, just absolutely a freak. I'm pretty sure Dives already knows where I'm going, but
First of all, I love how PFF just recently did an update from our previous mock.
Right. Yeah, they clearly did. But I have to do my due diligence and at least go down and look.
You have to show it up a little bit.
I have to make it look like I'm oh man.
As soon as I saw it, I knew exactly where you were going.
I'm taking the Georgia linebacker, Jalen Walker. This is such an easy decision for me. I mean, again, with the uncertainty of whether or not you are re-signing Zach Bond, the uncertainty of the health of one Nakobe Dean. Linebacker certainly has to be an intriguing position to look at for the draft. And I know, before everybody goes, well, they haven't drafted a linebacker since 1979. Look, come on, throw that crap out the window. You grab who can help you. And this is Vic Fangio. This is a different monster. You saw the importance of linebacker for this position, for this team. It's necessary. So
Fantastic. Great selection.
so now I got to pop off there.
I'm up next.
I gotta pull up David since
but I'm up next. I'm gonna go.
I know.
Let's get some comments real quick. Kamar saying, "Would you do a scouting report for a friend at Tulsa?" Absolutely. Send it over. We'll talk for sure. Message me on X for sure.
That's awesome.
Georgia picks are the safe picks. Please stop using the words uncertainty and Zach Bond is giving him nightmares.
Listen, I got it. I don't like it any more than you do. I want him signed, sealed, delivered. I want Howie to get the job done right now, but you have to call a spade a spade.
Yep.
Bond is coming back, man. It's
I
almost certain.
Yeah, I got it.
Better.
He's
So
coming
I'm on the
back.
clock here. This also means, David, you get to go first in round 2, just so you're aware.
All right, back to back. I like it.
Yep. Let's do
It's a
this.
snake draft.
Yep. Here we go. Let's see how we roll here. Mine's going a lot slower than yours, Ryan. Maybe I didn't put it on fast.
Yeah, you can see up top. It reverts back to fast rather than turbo. It's weird.
All right, so I'm on the clock here. And I am ecstatic. I have so many options available. This would be an amazing trade back scenario for the Philadelphia Eagles. I've got Jalen Walker sitting there. Gray Zabel is my number 1 offensive lineman in this class, a true 5-position player. Will probably be center year 1, but can fill in. And I know Howie Roseman loves him some athletes, but he also loves versatility. Gray Zabel is an amazing prospect, 6'6", a beast. Darius Alexander has some serious noise to the Philadelphia Eagles. Donovan Ezeraku, another guy that I love his fit here. But at the end of the day, I got to go with a guy that has been one of my favorites. He's number 11 on my big board, Nick Scorton, a defensive end, defensive tackle, can play both spots. Just picture perfect for the Philadelphia Eagles and that Vic Fangio defense. I am smiling ear to ear in this situation. Give me Nick Scorton to replace Milton Williams and this rotation on the D-line. Amazing. Yeah. I lucked out so hard.
Yeah, that's another great selection there. Let's get David going here.
Pump Man says Michael Williams all day. The only drawback, David, I'd love to hear your thoughts on Michael Williams is he doesn't drop back in coverage a lot. The fit with Vic might be a little muddy. What's your quick thoughts on Michael Williams' fit with Vic Fangio?
Yeah, I don't know about the fit there either, really. I watched him several times, and I don't see a lot what other people do. I mean, he's really good, and he has traits for days, but his production hasn't been Nolan Smith-esque. I'll just leave it at that. His production hasn't been that. He isn't like consistently moving blockers or anything like that from watching the tape. But again, it's more than that with him. You're gambling on traits with him. Yep.
All right, David, you're on the clock, man.
All right.
Yeah, so I'm not taking him, so you can move that.
Looks like Scorton just
I was saying that in the chat. Like Cooper DeJean made Jade Barron so much money this offseason.
Yeah. The guy who I want, I don't.
You want me to keep going?
Yeah. TJ Sanders, that's who I want.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Defensive tackle out of South Carolina. Sanders has an elite length He eliminates passing lanes with his height and his reach. He has a quick burst off the line. He's disruptive. He had provided a lot of interior pass rush. He had eight and a half sacks over the last 2 seasons. He's also a really good tackler. He had, I think it was 17 TFLs in 23 and 24. He's a toolsy guy. He had a gaudy 21.2 pass rush win rate, which I put a lot of stock into that. I mean, you always have to check out the competition they're going against when you're looking at numbers like that, but he's gone against some pretty good players there. He's versatile and he's truly explosive in the defensive front. I really like him. He's a true 3-down defensive tackle.
All right.
Well, David, you are back on the clock with quite a bit of choices here. Jesus Christmas. Wow. I hope I got that lucky. It's my turn.
We have a comment, Pumpman, saying, have I watched tape on Landon Jackson? Man, I've been covering Landon Jackson since 2024, man.
Yeah, seriously.
We've been talking about him for years. And I like him a lot. I think how he does in, the short cone drills and things like that is going to be the X factor. I'm a little concerned about his bend and his flexibility coming off the edge. And how he handles those agility drills is going to be key. We all know the size and the strength and the talent. It's all there, first round all the way. But what is his ceiling? I'm not so sure.
He's a high variance pick, in my opinion. And like you said, he does lack bend and flexibility. He doesn't do well in space. But again,
the tools are there.
Yeah. And you could do that with every player. All right, I'm going with Josiah Stewart. Yes, he's a little undersized, but that works out well for the Eagles. He has excellent speed, agility, another guy with an elite first step. He's got a plethora of pass rush moves, man. He comes already with all that stuff in his toolbox. He has a swim, the chop. He shows adequate bend getting around the edge. He has a high motor. He's always active. He processes very quickly. He can win inside or outside. He's another guy with a high pressure rate and a high run stop rate. He was tied for best in class with that. The Eagles normally prefer players who are toolsy and athletic, especially at the edge position. And while some will think he's small for the position, I actually think he's a perfect fit in Philly.
Nice.
All right. There you go. That's for David. That means I'm on the clock here. That's fine. Thank you. All right. I've got Demetrius Knight Jr. I honestly, he's been my guy of the week. I'm just starting to kind of get into him. He's been a guy that has come out of nowhere for me. He just hasn't been on my radar. Tyler Booker, I wouldn't be upset at all of how he made that selection. He's an elite guard. One of my top
first-round pick.
I agree. He's a fantastic interior offensive lineman. Dylan Sampson, I'm a big fan of Caleb Johnson. For teams that want to run a lot of outside zone, he is fantastic. Benjamin Morrison falling to 62 is crazy to me.
Medicals.
Yeah.
Everybody's waiting for Dr. Cooper tomorrow.
There's Gunnar Helm, big fan of his. Savion Williams, 6'5" wide receiver. Maybe develop him, behind A.J. Brown down the road. I'm going to keep going. Oh, my gosh. There's so many good players. Oh, my gosh.
That's why the Eagles are going to trade out of the first round to get double second-round picks this year.
That's what this is. Like there's there's a few blue chip talents at the top, but like there's so much variance in the first round that I think the strength of this draft is in day 2 and the depth at a lot of key positions. And I'm just blown away at some of these names available.
Especially where the Eagles pick at 32. There's not a big difference between 32 and 50, so you might as well move down if somebody falls in love with a player and wants that spot.
This guy is in my top 20. I know the Eagles will never do it, but I'm going to do it. It's my draft. And he's 6'3". He's an elite athlete. I'm going to go Nick Emmanwori, a safety out of South Carolina. And again, this is actually absolutely falling exactly the way I would do this. I just got my number 11 on my big board and then my number 20 on my big board. Nick Emmanwori is a big safety, would fit really well into that safety rotation with Reed and CJ GJ. Just turn that into a 3-headed monster. And, I don't have enough positive words to say about Nick Scorton and Nick and Manworry back to back. Ryan, you're up.
All right. Let me present.
I think Nick is a first round talent as well.
Oh my gosh, he's a stud. He's not being talked about enough. He's going to blow up this week.
Okay.
Oh. All right, Ryan, you're on the clock, man.
All right. So I grabbed a linebacker in the first round here. You know, again, there's some great talent here sitting in the second round. Ooh, oh boy. And you already took TJ Sanders, right? So I can't take him. That's a good spot. I already took a linebacker, so I can't take the White Lightning. But I'll take the other Whitey sitting there. And that's Jack Sawyer, edge out of Ohio State. Needs some help on that line, and dude is an animal. I absolutely love Sawyer, and hopes that he can help the line here. Let's see what.
I agree, Paul. Man, that's this is the most high variance draft I have covered in a long
I know
time.
That's the thing about doing these. It's like, on one hand, it's like it's awesome that players fall to you, but then you got to realize about the realistic nature of things, and
yeah,
it is what it is.
I released a top 50 and people are like, what? And I'm like, I don't care. I am so different compared to consensus. And I think a lot of people are.
I wouldn't be surprised if Sawyer fell to the second round, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, I can certainly see it. I just don't know the end of the second. But
he's a pretty high variance guy too. He's got a very solid floor, but I don't know about his ceiling.
Crazier things, right?
Yeah.
It happens every year. We got Cooper at 40, right?
Exactly, right?
I mean, we all thought. I think in my mock draft, I had him going like 20th overall.
Yeah, I had him like in my top 10. So
yeah,
I was stunned.
Yeah. Well, overall ranked, yes, he was in like mid-teens, but yeah. Well, anyway, it is my pick, 96 overall. I'm going to take another one of my boys, even though there are some dogs that I'm hoping will follow me in the next round. But I got to get my boy Trey Harris. We absolutely need another weapon on offense, especially in the wide receiver realm. As much as, we love our number 1 and number 2 wide receivers, we definitely need some help with wide receiver 3. Trey Harris comes in and I think immediately upgrades us in a way that no other player on the free agent market can. So that's where I'm going.
It's a really good pick. Really good pick.
Value-wise, I think third round, that's great for me. I love it.
Yep. Trey Harris, man, just an elite separator. Had some of the best separation in football last year. And when he was off the field for Ole Miss, that offense just went straight down the toilet. John says South Carolina defense is underrated as hell. Go Gamecocks. We got a Gamecocks fan in here. That's terrific. All right, so I'm on the clock, Daniel, and I'm going to piggyback off of that because that's exactly where we're rolling here. There's some good ones. Elijah Arroyo, I'm a big fan of. He's a project. He's a developmental guy, but great measurables. If you're watching the combine, make sure you watch him. I think he'll have a really good week. But in terms of tight end 1 upside, I think it's definitely there as a flex tight end. But the guy I'm going to go with, sorry, Ryan, I'm going to go Harold Fan.
No, hey, listen, I was praying to God he was going to be there for me, and he wasn't. So I'm glad somebody's taking him.
An elite athlete, production up the wazoo. Elite Harold Fannin Jr. is a gadget guy. If we get kind of that offense with Kevin Patula that we saw in the Commanders game in the Super Bowl, man, I mean, just there's definite tight end 1 upside there.
Yeah.
And to get him in the third round is crazy.
Huge. All right, David's back on the clock for 2. Just let me know where you want me to scroll, buddy.
Tight end.
Oh shit! Now I can do that.
If Milrow was there in the third round, no.
Oh God! Look at all these
I'm going
people.
Gunnar Helm.
That's a good one too.
That's
I
great.
think the dude has the size, the frame, the hands. He exudes body control. He's an above average route runner, creates yak, breaks tackles. He's a film rat, loves learning. He can thrive in a 12-piece scheme. He always finds soft coverage. And more importantly than any of that, he is the best run blocker in this class, which will get him on the field very, very quickly as a Philadelphia Eagle. So give me Gunnar Helm.
Like
Now we're moving on. So go to linebacker, right?
All right, linebacker. Ooh, couple of guys I like, but then again, I like a lot of them.
Go to IOL,
All right.
guard.
Yeah. Oh, let me take off linebacker. So it's just that.
Jeez.
Yeah,
That's a no.
Let's not a lot of. Let's just make
All right,
sure.
go to OT. Let me see if there's my guy there.
Oh, I definitely see a guy I like, but I don't know about the pick.
Keep going. I don't even see the guy. There's no way he's not there. Yeah, I'm jumping the gun and taking Holland Pierce. Offensive tackle from Rutgers. Dude is an absolute monster at 6'8", 340 pounds. He is a roadblock, a mauler. He finishes everybody. He measured the third longest in arms and fourth widest wingspan. Definitely the kind of dude Jeff Stoutland could take from nobody knowing anything about him to being Lane's replacement in 2 seasons when Johnson wants to hang up those cleats.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's definitely a guy I have not.
Yeah.
Check him out. He is an absolute monster, dude.
Yeah.
Sounds like a Stoutland guy, top to bottom.
He definitely has all the traits for Stoutland, no doubt about it.
So you think Lane's gonna give us 2 more years? But isn't his contract up after this year?
I think it's 26 because they'll do something to redo some of that money because it's something like an absurd hit.
Yeah. I always
maybe 40 million hit.
I always heard that Lane was going to play out his contract at least, and then see where we go from there.
Is Lakin the other Australian? Is that?
Yeah, I think that's who he's.
It'll be interesting to see how he has developed because they've been really quiet on that, and I didn't see him. I didn't see him at all at training camp, at all. So which was kind of weird. I didn't even see the dude. So he definitely wasn't getting many reps.
That's kind of how they were with Jordan.
And how many years did he take? 3 seasons, right? It was his third season.
Yeah. You didn't hear crap from him in the first year and a half before we finally got an update, and that was just he's doing pretty good.
And Lane is through 26 through his age 36 season.
So 2 more years, and then I gotcha. All right, so I wouldn't doubt it that if they haven't already pinned his replacement, that it'll be next year that they go after the tackle because they like to give him a year. They did the same thing with Kelsey, and they did the same thing across the board. That's kind of what they like to do.
Yep. All right, I'm on the board here. All right, number 128.
Ooh.
Andrew Makuba's sitting there. We already got a safety, but I'm a big fan of Makuba. Jackson Dart.
Hey-o.
Savion Jones, really interesting. Big fan of his. Antoine Powell-Ryland. We already got Nick Scorton. That could be right up Ryan's alley. We'll see.
Always use more edge.
I'm a big fan of Riley Mills.
Yeah.
When he's on the field, he was dominant. I'm just going to keep scanning at who is available. Quincy Riley, really good nickel defender. Would be really good depth for the Birds. That's a very interesting pick. Jackson Hawes, former quarterback. Upton Stout, one of the Senior Bowl winners on defense there. See who else is available. Danny Stutzman. My God.
Love me some Stutz.
Oh, no. All right. I might have
Oh no.
Jay Higgins sitting there. I'm sorry. I'm going to do it. I'm going to go Danny Stutzman
Nice.
for my linebacker, 6'4", elite production. He's just an elite run defender, and we all know about the linebacker room. I have him in my top 50. I don't understand the hate from PFF. I love Stutzman.
Yeah. Again, I think we had this conversation the other night. It just some of these rankings don't really make a lot of sense. But all right, I am on the clock for 2. And listen, I think just overall value. I'm looking here, and I know I am not that familiar, or as familiar, I should say, with Elijah Arroyo. So I don't feel comfortable grabbing him, but I do feel very comfortable in grabbing Mitchell Evans. He is definitely one of my guys at tight end. I missed out on my boy Fanning, so Mitchell Evans will do just fine in the 4th round. Pop into the 5th round, and oh boy, I got some.
Jackson, we have Arroyo is worrisome due to injuries from Daniel, and Pumpman is saying Jackson Dart, Ryan.
Listen, I got absolutely murdered for grabbing Jackson Dart last time. That was my only loss in the last 20 mock drafts. I'm not doing it again until I feel comfortable. So sorry.
Ryan, real quick, people probably don't know. Ryan and I do these dueling mocks on our channel, other channel, a lot. So literally the one time I beat Ryan, Jackson Dart was on his roster.
And I grabbed him, in the 5th round. And people are talking about, oh, you might sneak into the 2nd, probably a second or a 2nd round pick. And I'm grabbing him in the 5th, and I get murdered for it.
Pumpman says, what happened to Denzel Burke? His 2024 tape was a little disappointing. He got beat a little bit, whereas, heading into 2024, he was widely considered a 1st-round talent.
Yeah, agreed. But I think I'm going to go, honestly, this may be my own personal bias showing, but then again, I don't really care. I'm going to go back-to-back Notre Dame picks. I'm going with another linebacker. I'm going with Jack Kaiser. I love Jack Kaiser. This dude does everything that I love in a linebacker. So, and to grab him in a 5th, you could absolutely need some depth. You don't know what the room looks like. Get me more bodies in there. Let's figure it out together. And iron sharpens iron.
All right, Jack Kaiser for Ryan. John's chiming in. We need a mobile quarterback. It's just not a good year for it, John. I'm sorry. Joe Milton. I liked Joe Milton last year as a developmental guy. Who was the other guy?
Got one of the Browns, right?
Yeah.
Dorian Thompson, whatever.
Robinson
DTR.
He went to the Browns. I liked him. DTR.
Yeah. I talked about him for months as a day 3 guy, but he went a lot sooner than I thought.
Quarterback.
All right, I'm on the clock here. All right, let's do this. I'm very happy about my draft so far. Riley Mills is sitting there. Big fan of his. 6'5" defensive tackle to add to that rotation. That is interesting to me, especially in round 5. That's absurd.
Right.
Upton Stout is still sitting there. Nick Nash is a solid receiver. Just going through this real quickly. Ollie Gordon is still sitting there. Jay Higgins is still sitting there. Ty Felton's very underrated. Luke Lachey is very underrated. And Yes. So in round 5, I'm going to go Brashard Smith. He's a former wide receiver. Kind of fits what the Eagles want to do with their running backs. He's a great receiving threat. Not a big guy, 5'9", but he's like 200 pounds. He could definitely add more to his frame. And he's only got less than 3 carries on his resume because of the transition from wide receiver to running back. Not a lot of tread on those tires, and he's got a lot of vision, a lot of patience as a runner. I think he's a big home run swing. So give me Brashard Smith.
Yeah, you definitely love that dude.
I do. And then
right,
David, you are up, man.
Am I back to back again?
Yep.
Let me pump. There we go. 161
corners.
and 165. All right, what are we
Pull up
looking at?
corners for me.
Corners? Yeah.
Corners. Thank you, sir. No Williams is gone, huh?
Yeah. I
love that
was
dude.
looking at him in the last round.
Love that dude. All right, give me running back. I have somebody I like here, if they're available. Give me Bashal Tootin. That dude, really good in pass pro, showed off his burst and speed at the Senior Bowl. Good vision, balance, open field cuts. He has home run ability. I went and saw him at Tech a lot. He's got great hands, and he's a special teams monster, can play week 1. I don't know that they'll go running back, but I absolutely love that dude. If I didn't take him, I would have taken Damian Martinez, running back out of Miami. He's another guy, man. Elusive in space, back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons at 2 programs, Oregon State and Miami, just a monster, bud. And then go to linebacker. I think he's listed as linebacker. Do you see Jalen McLeod? If he's not listed at linebacker, he might be as edge.
Edge, yeah.
There's no way this dude's off the board.
Is he even
Absolutely
listed
no way.
on PFF?
Say what?
Is he even on PFF's big board?
Yeah, no, that could be true. There's no way he's off that board.
We have Pump Man saying Jalen Smith is a dog. We still worried about Jake Elliott, or did the Super Bowl erase the concerns? Yeah, for now. Crazy name, says Pump Man. Nobody cares about the NBA. Kamar, sorry. He's not even draftable, says Pump Man.
All right, you're not gonna find him. He's not on there. Just go to Edge again.
Wait, I can type it in. What's the last name?
McLeod.
No.
Yeah, they don't even have him.
That's awesome.
All right. just go to Edge. I'm going double dipping at Edge. Is Antoine Powell Ryland there still? Or
No, he just got drafted two picks before that.
That sucks.
Good grief.
He's so underrated. He's so underrated.
Although,
yeah, I like that.
You couldn't draft him anyway. Didn't Dives already take him?
No,
No.
I do not. I took
How
him.
about Aeneas Peebles? Is he still there? Defensive tackle?
There's no way. There's no way.
No, I thought I saw him, but I'll check.
I don't know. This board is crazy, man.
Wonky.
Defensive DI.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, he's gone. I think he's a day 2 guy.
Crazy. Yeah, he should be. All right. I can't keep looking at this. Just go to the whatever they have ranked high at this point. Give me Luke Condra.
Okay.
Thank you.
We're going guard. We're going back to Dives.
All right, let's do this. I am on the clock. I could go chalk and just go Riley Mills, but I never play it easy. I'm going to double dip at linebacker and get one of my favorite linebackers in this draft. There are some agility concerns, but if you're a defense like Vic Fangio that wants to run a lot of zone, Jay Higgins in coverage is very impressive. I think he's super underrated. Give me Jay Higgins to add depth to that linebacking core.
Nice. All right. Oh wait, no. I think I took. It's hard to differentiate between which one's which. Is this the right one? Or is this the right one? I think this is the right one. Is this me, right? I just took Kaiser. All right, there we go. All right. Who the hell did I take? I took a linebacker, a tight end, a wide receiver, and an edge. All right. Let's see. Oh, that's not bad. Let me just see real quick at safety. I'll go with Noel Williams.
Great pick.
Yeah, he's definitely a dude that's in my top corners there. Man, I would literally take more linebackers if it did make me look crazy. Can't help it. I have a problem. I just saw the dude I want. Where did it go? Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Listen, I can't not take this dude. There's no way he falls this far, in my opinion. He's an absolute dog and could learn from the absolute best coach that there ever was and the absolute best right tackle that there ever was in Eagles history. And give me Emory Jones Jr. Easy selection this late in the draft.
That's insanity. But
That's right, exactly. It's just not ever going to happen. But listen, I can't not take it.
Yeah, this is super unrealistic. All
John.
right, I'm on the clock here. I'm going to make this super easy. I'm going to go Riley Mills. I've been talking about him for a while.
You've been wanting him for 8 picks.
I mean, yeah, he's
just get him.
Yeah, he's going to add to that rotation. All things start with that interior pressure, and Riley Mills, again, 6'5", he's a big dude, big time leader on that Notre Dame defense. Great for the locker room. Give me Riley. David, what's your last pick?
It's my last pick. I never even mentioned Luke Condra is a dude I really like at guard. In a really kind of weak IOL class, dude's like 6'4", 325, never gets called for a penalty. He had like a 0.1% penalty rate, which is just nuts, but he's a really good guard. Give me a linebackers, Ryan. Stutzman, I mean, come on. I mean, that's ridiculous.
I feel like Schmel London Jr. has just been there. It's just weird to see him that low.
Yeah, of all the guys left, he is probably who I would take, actually, because Stutzman. Yeah, Stutzman was selected by Dibes. So yeah, give me him. He's a physical downhill presence. Really, really good in space. He really excelled at the Senior Bowl. I hold a lot of weight with that. He was excellent down there. Can't go wrong with these guys. Another former Georgia player. And sadly, I listened to an interview with Nakobe Dean, who said his kneecap flew up into his thigh area, and he had to push the kneecap back down to his knee. It sounds absolutely horrendous.
That sounds like that's not going to be easy to come back from.
Was that new?
No.
When was that reported? Was that today?
He did an interview. He did an interview last night.
Jesus, that's
I think it was with Chad Johnson. I think that's who it was. But yeah, he said he literally.
What's his face?
Said he felt it.
Sharp, right?
Yep, felt it in his thigh and tried to push it back to his knee so he could keep going. I mean, just first off, absolute warrior, but good. But good Lord, man, that is
happened
horrendous.
to me. I would have definitely crapped my pants.
That injury has a very low success rate of people coming back from.
Exactly. Hence why I kept using the word uncertainty at
All right,
linebacker.
David, let's do this.
Let's
David,
go.
tell us about your team, and Ryan and I will grade it A to F.
I love my team. Sanders is one of my favorite defensive tackles. Stewart, I think, is just, like I said, just very toolsy. Gunnar Helm, best blocking tight end. Holland Pierce is just an absolute monster. If you don't know who he is, check him out. You will be amazed at his size and body, just throwing people around. Tootin is just a guy who could fill in if they're going not to pay, and try to do the Boston Scott thing with Kenny Gainwell, and he can contribute on special teams right away. And he's got home run ability. He's very apt at that. Condra, I just mentioned him, and then again the linebacker from Georgia. You can't go wrong. Even though PFF gave it a F at 168, that would be an A plus.
Yeah, I'd take him at 168 for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think honestly, I think this is a solid B plus. You seem to certainly go early defense and then concentrated quite a bit on offense. Obviously, Howie loves grabbing some trenches, and yeah, it'll be interesting to see kind of with all of the free agents that we have, and the resources and perhaps some of the need to fill some of the holes left by free agents, where they end up going position wise. But
I think Milt's gone, BG is gone, Sweat's gone. I mean, I don't see how you can't address that really early.
Same. So
yeah, there's some deep cuts on this list.
Yeah,
I love your first three picks. I think they're great fits. I think TJ Sanders, he was my number 6 D tackle in this draft. I think he's like a round 2 guy.
Agreed.
And I think Josiah Stewart is a great fit for this defense. People would love him. One of the best athletes in this draft, bar none. Love Gunnar Helm. Talk about him ad nauseum. But I'll be honest, when it comes to Pierce, Tootin, and Condra, I haven't looked into them yet. I know a lot about Munden Jr., but those are 3 guys that I'll have to kind of reserve my thoughts before I say anything stupid. Which is all the time. I'm right there with you, Ryan. I'll give it like a B plus.
Yeah. I think it's because of perhaps I would have thought maybe a little bit more concentration on the defense just to try and replace what is going to be lost. But then also again the deeper cuts, just of the uncertainty. Those are 2 names that I definitely need to go and dive into the offensive line guys for sure.
In hindsight, if I could change something, it would be to grab a corner somewhere where probably Tootin is, but it would have been Noel Williams, who was long gone. So
yeah, I was lucky he fell to me. So
yeah, he's one of my favorites in this class, in like the 100-ish range. I really like him.
Yeah.
We have a comment from Joe asking us to be part of a draft party. Joe, message us. We'll talk. All right. Absolutely.
I'm already talking to Joe. Don't worry.
There you go.
I got it.
Nice. Very nice. All right. Ryan, you want to go or you want me to go?
Yeah, I'll go. Let me figure out how to share the right freaking screen.
I need to find out about this Rutgers tackle, man. You got me excited about that Rutgers tackle. I got to figure out who that is.
He's a beast, dude.
Ooh, I got an A. All right. So, the elusive A. Love it. So I went with Jalen Walker. There were just a plethora of players that I could have taken in the first round. Again, we said no trades. I would have traded back in a heartbeat, just given the talent. But Jalen Walker, I absolutely love. Again, he's a Georgia guy. He can come in. He could hopefully be that starter right away next to Zach Bond while we figure out what's going on with Nakobe Dean. We give Trot a little bit more time. Jack Sawyer could come in and immediately improve the rotation. Kind of take over for the Sweat role. Trey Harris is an absolute flyer. Can burn down the seams, and I think again with Dotson kind of not fulfilling the role that I think we all wanted him to. I think adding another talent on wide receiver gives Jalen Hurts yet another option to play around with. Speaking of another option, Mitchell Evans comes in and immediately becomes tight end too. Sorry, Grant Calcaterra. But Mitchell Evans, I absolutely love, and do not think he'll even come close to the fourth round, but that's just me. I stuck with Notre Dame, got myself another linebacker again because of that uncertainty. You add depth to a position that I think, when you look at it, was truly the reason, in my opinion, why the Eagles defense excelled so wonderfully is because of the improvement at the linebacker position. It really does make life easier for the other two positional groups. Needed to get a corner because Slay most likely will be gone, and you need a little bit more depth in there. No Williams, absolute dog for fifth round pick. And then Emory Jones.
That's your best pick.
Oh yeah, the fact that I got to see is kind of funny. But again, you have he is a right tackle. I agree. I think Pup Man said it in the chat. I think he's just as good as his counterpart, who's going to get drafted in the top 10. And yeah, I think, again, I don't think he sniffs the fifth round, but again, the idea is you grab a fifth round tackle, you mold him, he stays there for a year, becomes the swing tackle, then takes over for Lane in year two. Like, okay, that sounds pretty darn good to me. So, and he's just a mauler, so that would be my goal. So, anyway,
David, how would you grade it A to F?
Strangely, my favorite two picks Ryan made were his last two picks. Emory there is just absolutely absurd. Noel, cornerback from Cal, man, he has elite ball skills. He had 7 picks this past season.
Yep.
Recognizes routes, just a ball hawk, aggressive. And with the likely departure of BP Slay, why not add another cost-effective corner? It's been working out there. Get a guy in there to develop. Kaiser, solid. You went with more guys, in my opinion, who were productive in college as opposed to like high athletic trait guys. So your draft is significantly different than how I, go about it normally. Aside from those last 2 picks, Trey Harris, I probably wouldn't take, but you addressed the reasons. I don't know. Dotson, I don't even know how many targets he got last year. What did he get? 30? I don't know what wide receiver 3
even means. You're right. You're 100% right.
So,
but think about what we have even outside of Dotson. It's a ghost town.
And if they're planning on not continuing with AJ Brown a season or 2 down the road, which might be more likely than a lot of people want to admit,
I think it's very likely.
Yeah, so getting ahead of it is not the worst thing. Jalen Walker, absolute stud. Sawyer, again, I don't know, very productive. I actually talked with Anthony DeBono about him today. He projected him at like 8 sacks a year or something like that. I look at everything through Eagles colored lenses, so it's very hard for me to, go against that. I just don't see him as the greatest fit for the Eagles, but again, that's just because of preference, and I've been indoctrinated by Howie Roseman and his staff and how I build a roster. But it is a solid B. I mean, it is a very good draft. I mean, again, those last 2 picks, you just kick the crap out of anybody's last 2 picks in this entire thing.
Yeah, that's my take. Is Emory Jones Jr. a solid right tackle? Potential starting right tackle around 5 is terrific.
Yeah, that's a mic drop.
Yeah. Jack Sawyer, great run defender. Low, high floor kind of dude. Jalen Walker's a straight up dog. Very solid playmaker. Love that pick, as you know. Trey Harris, I think, is right there with Luther Burden as a receiver. But I agree with everything David said in terms of that position luxury pick. Mitchell Evans kind of had a disappointing season last year. I was maybe a little too high on him. Didn't have the production I expected. So he's curious. But, yeah, going back to Emory Jones, that's terrific.
And
Yeah,
Trey Harris is an excellent blocker too. I mean, he does fit the mold of the type of receiver they would get. I mean, he's highly underrated. I think I have him like fifth on my board. I mean, he's a very good wide receiver.
dude, he just makes plays, man. He's such a good receiver, and I don't understand why like the consensus is so low on him.
Neither do I. I don't really think it is
vertical receiver, route runner. Like he's a very
physical.
Yeah, he's a very well balanced prospect. All right. Any other comments on yours, Ryan?
So, hey, top 25% of Eagle drafts. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to mine. I went with Nick Scorton with my first pick. Nick Emanwuri, safety, round 2. Harold Fannin Jr., round 3. Danny Stutzman, round 4. Brashard Smith, round 5. Jay Higgins, round 5. And then Riley Mills, round 5. This draft is very me. That's my first impression. These are a lot of my guys. Like Nick Scorton's number 11 on my big board. Nick Emanwuri's number 20. Harold Fannin Jr. didn't make my top 50, but he just missed it. Danny Stutzman did. I think he was literally number 50. I don't understand why PFF is giving me an F. I think he's very solid. Brashard Smith, I think, would be a terrific fit in this offense. Kind of fit that Kenny Gainwell role really well. I know a lot of people are excited about another running back for the Eagles, but I'm just not sold on his pass protection. Jay Higgins, great coverage linebacker. I'm really excited to see how he does in the combine, especially in the cone drills with his agility. That is key to watch. And then Riley Mills is just a dog, just a leader on that interior, just adds to that rotation with his size and strength. David, what were your thoughts?
I like every player that you selected. I'm super high on Harold Fanning Jr. as well. I mean, he's amazing. But your first pick is the only one that I probably wouldn't do. I don't, again, take it for what it's worth. I'm looking at this through Eagles colored lenses here, but I don't see him as a great fit for the Eagles. He's not very versatile or explosive, in my opinion. He was struggled a little bit against the run, and his pressure rate of 11% was one of the lowest in class. And again, I kind of put a lot of stock on that, but I know I'm in the minority with him. Lots of people love the dude. I'm just not as high on him, but every other pick that you have there is absolutely amazing. I mean, again, it's a solid B for me. If your first pick was a different edge rusher, probably like, I don't know, even Michael Williams. I just gamble on traits more, man. Even though he probably wouldn't be the guy. Even Jalen Walker, I see as more of an edge, like how Ryan took. I mean, I really like him. I'd take him in the first round. He's a hybrid linebacker edge kind of guy.
Yeah.
So just isn't a lot of film on him as an edge, but he showed off against really big teams at Texas and Alabama. Dude's a stud. But yeah, again, it's a solid B, dude. It's a really good draft.
What about you, Ryan?
Yeah, I give it a B plus. I mean, anytime you can grab Harold Fanning, that was certainly the dude I was hoping for in the third round. Obviously, you know how I feel about Stutzman and Higgins. Great picks. I kind of agree with with David on the Scorton. I feel like I'm kind of souring on him just a little bit. Not that he's not talented immensely. And wouldn't come in and absolutely be a dog. But, I don't know. There's just something about it where I'm like, I hesitate a tiny bit. You give me a trade back for that pick, then I'm probably fine. But
I think we'd all do a trade down there.
What was that?
What?
Was that?
I said I think we'd all do a trade down if we had the opportunity at 32.
Obviously, I think if we were doing trades, I think all of us would have traded down.
And if I flip your first two picks, Dibes, like if I went Emanwuri first and Nick second, that would look more appealing to me.
Really?
I really like the safety Nick. Yeah, I like that guy a lot, dude.
The way they kicked like Brandon Graham inside in certain situations, I think Nick Scorton would be so good at that.
You're not wrong.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I give it a solid B plus. Anytime that you can grab a couple linebackers and grab one of my favorite tight ends, I'm obviously going to be happy about it. So,
All right.
Eman Warrior is definitely a first round safety, though. That dude's a stud, man.
Yeah.
4
yeah,
picks, 3 pass breakups, nickel box,
he's
single,
certainly going
double
to
high.
solidify. He's going to solidify that after this.
Yeah,
year.
I think there's a world. I think there's a world where Eman Warrior gets drafted over Malachi Starks too. I don't think that's.
I agree.
Great. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I'll take
They're both
Starks
fantastic, but
Yeah, they're both first round picks, but Starks kind of had a disappointing 2024 tape wise. But anyway, all right, that
awesome.
wraps it up. We are going to throw these drafts into YouTube and Twitter. Be on the lookout for those voting polls. It will be me versus David, round 1, and the winner will take on Ryan and his squad. We'll be doing a lot more of these as we get ready for the draft in April. David, final thoughts, plugs, time is yours.
You can follow everything I do at PHL Eagle News, Philly Sports Network. I dropped a mock draft on there yesterday. I think Anthony dropped one today. You guys are posting them online. Follow everything. Follow the Eagles Pinpool Network. And thank you all for your consistent viewing and interacting with everything, because that's how all of us are growing and keeping this thing alive, man, is with the interaction.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, thank you everyone for commenting. Comments were awesome as always. Just you guys, we do it for you guys. Just thank you. Ryan, final thoughts. Plug.
Yeah, listen, I love doing mock drafts. They're always fun. It's always unpredictable. You never know what you're going to get, and you never know how the draft board is going to fall, especially when players are vastly underrated. Make sure you're following everybody here. Make sure you are following the Eagles Pinpool Network and all of the wonderful shows. Obviously, right after this, there's Armchair Scouts tomorrow. My show, Football Smack Talk Show, that one, is Wednesday at 5:30. And then the other shows throughout. And then certainly make sure that you're following Dibes for all of the draft content. If you're a sicko, like, the three of us are, Dibes puts out shorts, videos, scouting reports, top 10s, this, that, and the other. I'm lucky to even be slightly a part of it. So please check that out. Get yourself educated on some of these draftees. And if you're looking for real deep cuts, make sure you're following this guy down here too. Yeah. So he just told us about 2 or 3 guys that I have barely heard of in my entire life. So
that's a great way to end it, because I'm not even kidding. Like, the NFL draft is such a beast, and this is how it is. It's like there's guys that like pop up that you never even heard of, like Demetrius Knight Jr., linebacker, that's now getting buzzed in the first round. Or Carson Schlesinger. Like, I didn't watch any UCLA last year. They were so disappointing. But he was a beast.
Jalix Hunt last year. Nobody really knew who he was, and he came out of nowhere.
It happens every single year where there's a guy that's just kind of teetering in the middle rounds and whatever, and nobody pays him any mind, and something happens. And it's not even necessarily something that he does, it's just the buzz just starts happening. And I don't know whether it's like agent talk or whatever, just word that's getting around the inner circles that gets out. But then they just start rising up. And then you find this guy in the first round. You're like, oh, yeah, of course I know about that guy. Never heard of him. Like, it happens every year. Every year. I love it. I just love how this whole thing works. It's such a wild, crazy, drama-filled show that I can't get enough of, and I watch every episode I can. Love it.
So tons of draft content. Right after this, we are talking our top defensive tackles in the 2025 draft. So if you're another draft sicko, stay with us, where we'll be going live momentarily to gush about Walter Nolan and Deion Walker and the amazing defensive tackle class. It's so deep. And we'll be breaking it all down. One last time, Ryan Reese is on X at Philly Sports PSA. He is David at PHL Eagle News. I'm Dibes, Mr. Crockpot. Thank you everyone for watching. We'll see you on the other side. Stay awesome.